lot of power, but their interest in your fridge is limited. It's the same with the Egyptian gods. Yes, Ray might be able to help you with your field or your ailments, but realistically, he has better things to do. The oldest or most powerful god is not always the first port of call. Rather than worrying about Ray's opinion of them while he went about his business in the cosmos, most people were more concerned about demons and ghosts. Demons inhabited the dark realm of the Duat, a place that was sometimes beneath the ground, sometimes in the sky. Such beings could escape this place through caves and bodies of water to terrorize the living, bringing sickness and disease. Ghosts, too, walked the earth and could enter people's homes in a threatening or helpful capacity, depending on their mood. But it wasn't all bleak. Popular household gods also had a particular influence on daily life, such as Bes and Taweret, who looked after women and children, or Renanutet, who was responsible for the harvest. And the ancestors were never far from people's minds because they had a direct line to the gods. All of these beings, great or small, were as much a part of Egypt's environment as the desert, fields, cities, towns, villages, and temples. The Egyptians knew they were all around us all the time. The supernatural permeated every aspect of life and death. Myths, told around campfires, spread through literature or kept in temple libraries, explained this world through the actions of gods and the invisible. They brought order and understanding to the chaos of life and comfort in hard times. Myths are more than stories. They're a reflection of us, representing a universal human need to make sense of reality. Assembling Egyptian myths. Our sources. How do we know any of this, you might be asking? The short answer is, with difficulty. Many problems face anyone attempting to reassemble the myths of ancient Egypt. There was no single source that gathered all the myths together, no holy book of Egyptian religion. Myths are found in a variety of places, from temple and tomb walls to magic spells, but these often don't include all the details we'd need to reconstruct the myth. Rather, we tend to find allusions to the myths, their meaning clear to readers or listeners who were already aware of the broader story. Episodes in the myths were also omitted for religious reasons. Art and texts were believed to have the power to magically bring whatever was represented or described into being. So, because temples and tombs were sacred spaces, requiring any inscription or carving to exhibit the perfection of divine order, Mut, the Egyptians avoided directly mentioning ritually dangerous aspects of myths or parts that would introduce disorder to the environment. So, the death of Osiris, a fundamental mythic event in Egyptian afterlife belief, discussed in Chapter 6, is never mentioned directly. Mythological snippets can most often be found on temple walls, in carved scenes that show, and so recreate for eternity, the rituals and festivals performed before the gods, or in funerary texts, magical inscriptions meant to assist the dead in the afterlife by describing key locations, divinities, dangerous beings, and helpful rituals and spells. At different times, such texts were inscribed on the interior walls of royal pyramids, in the tombs in the Valley of the Kings, on the sides of nobles' coffins, or written on papyrus rolls placed near the deceased, a collection of spells today known as the Book of the Dead. Other abbreviated myths are found in sources from daily life, for example at the start of magic spells, often used to cure illnesses, giving them a divine precedent when the gods used the same magic. This reassured the user that the spell had worked in the mythological past, so it would work again. The writings of Greek and Roman authors are important sources too, though these were sometimes adapted for their non-Egyptian audience. Egypt's priests also kept mythological manuals in their libraries, accounts of local traditions written on papyrus rolls, some of which survive in a fragmentary state. These same myths can sometimes be found inscribed in stone on temple walls, a clever way of ensuring their survival for future generations of priests. As guides to the myths of Egypt's various regions, called nomes by Egyptologists using the Greek term, they're an excellent resource for understanding local myths, and often feature the nome's god in a prominent role, promoted to the prime god in mythology. These myths tend to be etiological, explaining how a local topographical feature, a hill, a lake, the colour of certain rocks, came to be, or the reason for the location of a temple. Indeed, the need to explain is one of the prime reasons for Egyptian myths. Even myths recorded on temple walls tend to be inscribed only